Hey everyone, I'm Madison Schoen and I'm a neonatal intensive care unit nurse. I work at Children's Wisconsin. I've been working there for almost 4 years now. I started there as a sitter or patient safety companion and transferred into a human milk technician role in our milk kitchen, which is actually located in our NICU, which helped me decide where I want to be because I found out that the NICU is a very, very specialized unit and it is very particular. And I feel with my personality, I'm a particular person and I like things done the right way, which also brings me into what drives me, motivates me, inspires me, is learning and education. So I love to learn. I love all the facts, random facts, any facts. I could shove a whole book into my head and I would love it. I love little quirky things that I can pick up and use in my day-to-day lingo. So that actually translates into education. So being in the NICU, education is a very, very important piece for our parents, especially because we as nurses want to make sure that they know what they're doing so they can go home with their baby and be safe, because all of our conditions and illnesses are different. So we are never really doing the same thing from day to day. It's not just like, this is the checklist, this is what we do. We kind of need to scope the illness out and try to figure out if there's something that is not going right with their care or one little thing needs to be adjusted. It can make a world of a difference, especially if the baby is super tiny. Leads me into my impact in 5, 10, 15 years. I really hope as a newbie nurse right now, I will look back on this later and say, hey, I really feel like I made a difference in the world. Even to my families, I want to make sure that they go home safely and I want to make sure that they know what they're doing when they go home. So I really hope that I can bring light into them and make them feel as comfortable and confident as possible and just give them education. That is a takeaway for my impact, which leads me into why do I want to be a nurse, or why I chose healthcare, or what being a nurse means. So I would like to start off with just healthcare. I feel like chose me. I always knew I wanted to be a nurse. I do have a lot of family members and friends that are nurses and they love what they do. I love the fact that you can be a shoulder to cry on, an ear to lend, and you just kind of forget about all the stuff in your personal life because none of that really matters. You are there to advocate for your patient and make sure that their stay or the time that they're there, regardless if they're there for a week or if they're there for months, especially because we're in an ICU setting. Normally the kiddos are there for at least 3 weeks or more, just developing, growing, changing, which is the exciting part about being a NICU nurse, especially, is you get to see these babies grow, you get to see these babies change, you know how they react to their own environment. You get to learn all of these new illnesses, disease processes, and so on, which leads me into thinking I want to be a nurse practitioner. When I finally stop being the baby nurse that I am, which I don't think I'll ever feel like I'm not, but I do see a lot of great nurse practitioners, and really makes me motivated to learn all that I can, be the best bedside nurse that I can, and then transfer into a role where I can do more advocating, more educating, more learning. I want to take on committees. I want to be a part of articles. I want to really make a change, especially in pediatric nursing. It's a very touchy specialty, so to speak. I want to make sure that things are being done right and changes are being made to the world. So that's all about me.